Hi, good evening, everyone. Welcome to NextGen IT courses. So today we have a day one session regarding Azure 500 Cloud Security, and we have our trainer also, Mr. Sanmeet here. Hi, good evening, sir.
Yeah, very good evening, Mr. Sachin. How are you?
I'm good, sir. What about you, sir?
I'm also doing fine.
Thank you. So, sir, without wasting time, you can introduce yourself. You can give expertise idea that you have, and we can, discuss with the students also what they have, requirement, and then they can,
Hmm.
start with that.
Okay, okay, sure.
Yeah, over to you, sir.
All right. So, very good evening, everyone. Hope you all are doing good. So, my name is Sanmeet Singh, and I'm from basically Microsoft certified trainer. I have certain certifications in my hand right now, like AZ-104, AZ-305, AZ-500, PL-300, and others as well. Right. So I'm here to take you on this journey to this particular course, which is AZ-500, and it is basically a Microsoft Azure Security Technologies course. But before we move into that, I would just like to know, how did you come to know about this course? Have you done any Azure certifications or something? Anyone?
Not yet.
Yes, guys.
Hello.
Yes, yes,
Yeah. Hi,
please.
Shubham.
Yes, not yet. But we I listen about the Azure Ready and Key Vault. So
Hmm.
that's particular feature about the
Okay.
Azure. Yes,
Okay. And Shubham, if I may ask, what's your current designation? Like, what domain are you working in currently?
I am a technical lead in
Okay,
network
technical lead.
security. Yeah, in network
Okay.
security in infrastructure. Yes.
Okay. Okay. And are you using Azure in your company maybe?
Not yet. But in our infrastructure, I saw there is Azure Ready and Key Vault,
Hmm.
something like that features. That's why we are
Okay.
interested. Yes.
Okay. And have you done any Azure certifications prior to this, like AZ-104 or AZ-900 something?
No, 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 not yet.
Okay, not yet. So means you have an idea what is Azure. You know what's cloud computing and all that
Yes, yes,
fundamental.
yes.
Okay. And what about you, Vivek? Mr. Vivek, am I audible to you?
Vivek, kindly speak up, please. So session will be very interactive. All right, sir. You can, continue with
Okay.
your agenda. Yeah.
Okay. Is there anyone else, Mr. Sachin, who is going to join, like Dinesh or someone?
Yes, students are joining, but they will, take 5 to 10 minutes. No problem. You can give some fundamental idea, the prerequisite,
Hmm.
what the job
Hmm.
opportunities we have till that time, and they can, join in the meanwhile.
Okay. All right. So let's talk about Azure first. So as you have told me, Shivam, that you're already aware about Azure, and I'm assuming that Mr. Vivek is also having some idea what Azure Cloud Platform is exactly. Now there's Azure AZ-500 course. This is for Microsoft Azure Technologies. Okay, this course is designed for IT professionals who want to specialize in securing cloud environments. Now it is an associate level exam. It's not a beginner level exam. It's an associate level certification, meaning it sits between the foundational knowledge and expert level architecture, somewhere in between that, right? So the ideal candidates, for this course would be someone who already understands how Azure works, but wants to master the lock and key side of the platform. Okay, so it can be Azure administrators, like professionals who already manage VMs and networks, but need to harden them against attacks. Then you can go for this course. For security engineers, maybe those looking to transition from on-premise security like firewalls, local AD, to cloud native security. Or if we talk about developers like coders who want to build security by design into their applications, like managing secrets in key vaults, securing APIs, hardening, storage, everything. Now there are many prerequisites for this course. As I said, it is a security level course. It's not a beginner level course. It's an associate level examination. So you need to have certain knowledge for your Microsoft Azure cloud computing platform. What are the different types of cloud computing models we have? What's the paying model we use? What is Azure exactly? All work around about that. Now, while there are no mandatory exams you must take first before this exam, but it is highly recommended that you have 6 to 12 months of experience on Azure. Basically, like many people take the AZ-104 before attempting this AZ-500 as well. Now, if we talk about the job roles and career path, so after you get certified in AZ-500, like which is Azure Security Engineer Associate, you will get an Azure Security Engineer Associate badge. You can expect to qualify for the following roles, which can be Azure Security Engineer, okay, which is like designing and implementing security control acts across the entire Azure tenant. You should be, you should apply for Cloud Security Analyst, means you can monitor security alerts in Sentinel and respond to incidents as well. Then talk about security architect. You can design high level security frameworks for large enterprises. And lastly, you can also become a compliance specialist, which means you will ensure the cloud environment meets standards like GDPR, HIPAA, or ISO 27001. Now, see, in 2026, cybersecurity is the number one priority for companies moving to the cloud. So, having security in your title often leads to I would say, 20 to 30% higher salary as compared to a general cloud administrator. So, it also serves as the perfect foundation if you eventually want to take the SC100, like which is cybersecurity architect expert, right? So yeah, AZ-500 is a complete package, where you'll get to learn about Active Directory, means Azure Active Directory, which is Entra ID, about your storage accounts, how do you secure your virtual machines, then what are the security strategies that Microsoft Azure follows, what is zero trust principle, what is your, what do you say, zero trust principles, what's all these pillars around it, how do we secure our overall Azure environment. So that's what you can expect from this particular course. Now, before I move forward, do you have any questions in mind, Shubham or Vivek? Any questions that come to your mind?
Yes, so can we go directly to AZ-500, or do we have to complete any basic certification before that?
No, 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 you don't have to do that. It's just, it's good to have knowledge of Azure. I won't say there is, if we talk about in technical terms or in roadmap of Azure, you don't need to have any prior certifications for this course.
Okay, and Sentinel is the same one like
I'm sorry?
Sentinel is a tool for the log monitoring, log analysis,
Huh.
right?
Yes, yes, absolutely. Some part of Sentinel is also covered in this course as well, so you don't have to worry about it.
It's like a Splunk, right?
Huh. Yeah, it's like Splunk. Yes, absolutely. It's an alternative Splunk, right? Any other questions? Okay. So let's do one thing. Let's start with the introduction of the course. Okay, just give me a moment. So what we'll do is, as this is the very first day of our session, of our overall journey, so we'll keep it simple. Okay, we'll just try to understand what this course is about, what does the exam looks like, and what you can expect basically. So let's start with that. Just give me a moment. I'll share my screen with all of you. Please let me know if my screen is visible to you.
Yes, it's usable.
Okay, perfect. All right. So now, the PPTs that I'm going to share with you guys, these presentations, as you can see, these are copyrighted from Microsoft itself. You can see that here, right? And that's the reason we can't share these presentations with you. These are only available to Microsoft certified trainers. So MCT is basically an exam. It's a basically exam that we people give, we trainers give to achieve this kind of these benefits and all, and it's a paid exam. So yeah, as I'm an active participant of this program MCT, so that is the reason I have access to all these documents so that I can train candidates like you. Now that we have covered all of this, like I know what you do, what I'm, where I'm from, where I come from, what I have done, all my certifications, my experience and all. Now talking about this exam, see, as I've already told you, this exam, the name of the exam is this, which is Azure Security Technologies. Now, as I've said earlier, so if we talk about this exam, AZ-500 is specialized certification for Azure security engineers. It focuses on securing Azure environments. Now, what environments you would ask? So these environments involve, it involves, including identities, including networks, then your data and your applications. Right? So unlike general Azure administration certifications like AZ-104, AZ-500 dives deep into security controls, threat protection, and compliance management to help safeguard cloud resources. Now, this certification is ideal for professionals who already know Azure basics or have completed, who might have completed AZ-104 and want to specialize in security. Maybe those who are new to Azure but interested in becoming Azure security engineers. Then again, you can go for this exam. Right. So for newcomers, it's beneficial to first build foundational Azure knowledge. So security specialists looking to expand their skills into cloud security on Microsoft Azure, then again you can go with this exam. Right. So that's what this exam is all about. Now, let's move on forward and see what are some prerequisites. So, I've already told you about this exam, what you can expect. See, it helps students prepare for the new credential or day to day job tasks, combines networking and cloud service security skills, focuses on hands on practice, and bridges fundamental and associate level tasks. Now, what are the prerequisites? You should have some practical experience in administration of Microsoft Azure and hybrid environments. You should have strong familiarity with compute, what are VMs, what are app services, some virtual networks, subnets, and storage in Azure, as well as Entra ID. You should have familiarity with security management and vulnerability redemption techniques and knowledge of threat modeling and implementation of threat protection measures. Right, so these are the basic prerequisites that you need to have. Now talking about the course schedule, so we'll go along with the pace. Now these courses, see, we will be connecting for I guess 1 to 1.5 hours daily. Okay, and we will see how the things go, and we will be able to complete this course within, I would say, within 30 to 31 days, because that's the official days from Microsoft itself. So if you go to this portal, I don't think my screen will be visible, just give me a minute. Okay, so here if you search for AZ-500 course, And if you open up this link, hope my screen is visible to everyone. My edge window is visible.
Yes, yes.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Okay, perfect. See, here you can see the name of the course, which is AZ-500, Secure Cloud Resources with Microsoft Security Technologies. And here you can see the course duration is 4 days. Now, why is it 4 days? Because, usually how it happens is this is a custom batch. Although if we connect 8 hours daily, so then 8 into 4 means 32 hours. That's the maximum limit of this course. But here we have a customized batch, so we have almost got 1 to 1.5 hours in our pocket. So we'll try to cover this within a month, right? And you can see it's a product of Azure family. These languages are available for this course. This is the overview how the course looks like. All this access material. So this is the study material that you will be requiring. As I said, I can't share the presentations with you, but here is the exact same material present on this MS Learn website, which I'll share with you. So this link can help you understand more about this course. So I'm sharing this link in the chat window. Please make sure whatever links I'm sharing in the chat, make a note of it, because this is a temporary chat and I don't think you will be able to access this chat after the meeting ends. So please make sure that you are copying these links somewhere in your system. Perfect. So that's about the course. How does the course look like, the timeline, the schedule? Now let's go back. All right, so this is what I just showed you, MS Learn. You can create an MS Learn profile, Microsoft Learn profile, and you can start, self-studying there. Now talking about how you will be assessed on this exam. What are the topics that that you can expect in this exam? So this exam focuses on four main learning paths: one, two, three, and four. First one is secure identities and access. Now, anybody can tell me here what do you mean by identity? Anyone here? What's identity?
Like a user, super users, we have to create for the one VM machines and all.
Hmm. Okay, perfect. So, an identity can be anything which can authenticate himself or itself. It can be user or a group. It can be a device, or it can be an application that can authenticate itself that yes, I am who I say I am. That's authentication. Authentication means asking from the person, are you the exact correct person? If yes or no. And based on that, giving him the access to your resources. But here we'll see how to secure this identity and access. And this from this particular module or learning path, you can expect 15 to 20 percentage of your total questions from the exam. Then talking about securing networking. From this part, you can expect 20 to 25 percentage of the total exam, of the total questions in the exam. So securing networking means we are going to talk about firewalls, NSGs, what are ASGs, and other stuff. All these we are going to cover in this particular module. Service endpoints, what are private endpoints, all these resources. Then coming on to module 3, which is securing compute, storage, and databases. Compute means your computing resources such as virtual machines, app services, or any other compute services. How to secure storage accounts, storage options, and how to secure your databases. Databases can be MySQL databases, SQL databases, Cosmos databases, anything. How to secure that. From here, you can expect again 20 to 25 percentage of your total questions. And lastly, we are going to talk about securing Azure using Microsoft Defender for Cloud and Microsoft Sentinel. From here, you can expect the majority of the questions, which are 30 to 35 percentage. And in total, it becomes 100 percentage of your questions, right? See, Microsoft's Azure Security Technologies, AZ-500, measures your ability to accomplish the following technical tasks. which is managing identity and access, securing networking, compute, storage, databases, and managing security operations. So these are the skills that will be measured in your exam. Okay. Now, any further questions from me from this introduction of the course? Anything that you have as of now? If we are good, then just give me some reactions in the chat. There's a reaction button in the meeting. You can just send out reactions like thumbs up would be there, I guess. Okay.
Yeah, all good as of now, sir.
Okay, perfect. All right. So now let's move to the first part of the exam, first module. So I'll share my screen again. Just give me a moment. Hope my presentation screen is visible to everyone. Again,
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
great. Perfect, perfect. Hi Vishal, welcome to the meeting. I just can see when you joined. Okay. So now, before I get into the concepts of Azure security technologies, I just have to make sure that you people have the knowledge on Azure. So do you guys know what is AD here? What does AD stand for?
Active
Active
Directory.
Directory.
Okay, all of you know. I guess it was Shubham and Vishal. Like,
Yes.
okay, perfect. All right, so you know Active Directory. So what is Active Directory according to you guys?
We have added our users in this directory particular, and this directory will be called or integrate with our infrastructure for the
Okay,
monitoring. Yes,
okay. Anyone else? Vishal, do you want to add something? Okay. Let's understand Active Directory. Although the answer is correct, Shubham. So let's understand Active Directory. What see, guys, whenever I ask question, if you're not comfortable opening up your mic, what you can do is you can use the chat window. Because see, if we want to make this meeting, make this session engaging and interactive, so that I know that you people are getting some knowledge here, then I need to interact with you, and you guys need to answer me as well. So you can use the chat window. It's completely fine if you're not comfortable in opening up your mic. You can just use the chat window. There is an option, and you can put your answers there. Okay, perfect. Now, what is Active Directory? See, Active Directory is a directory service that is developed by Microsoft for managing users, computers, and other resources within a Windows domain network. Okay. It acts as a centralized database that stores information about network objects and provides authentication and authorization services. For example, in a company, AD manages user accounts and permissions so employees can access the resources they need, like printers or file shares, by logging into their domain account. Now, Microsoft Entra ID, that is a different concept. Now, see, there are two things. One is on premises. Hope you guys understand when I say what is on prem. Hope everyone understands what's on prem.
Yes.
Okay. On premise means when we are talking about our own data centers, an organization which has their own data centers hosted. That's your on prem, right? Simple. Now, when I talk about Azure, so this AD, whenever, okay, let's first talk about on premises. So, what is AD all about? Active Directory. As I've told you, it is like a tool which helps you to manage users, computers, and resources within a domain network. So let's say there is a company called as Contoso.com or Contoso Limited, right? Now, in an AD, how it will host its domain? First, it will have a domain like contoso.com, right? Then inside that, it will have some organizational units such as marketing, finance, HR. Other then inside that, you will have your users, your groups hosted, all that, your devices. There will be a domain controller, an additional domain controller. So what is ADDS? Active Directory Domain Services. This is a role that gets installed on a Windows server. Now this can be Windows servers, any kind of Windows servers, 2012, 2022, whatever. That's a Windows server. So when you install an ADDS role on this Windows server, it starts acting as an Active Directory, as a domain controller, right? That is how we use to manage our identities. What is an identity? Identity can be any object that can authenticate itself. Simple. Now AD solves three purposes. There are three tasks that an AD solves. What are these? Does anyone know what are the three A's? See, AD has three primary functions. We call it three A's. First is authentication. Second is authorization. Last one is auditing or accounting, whatever you want to call it. Now, what is authentication? Authentication means who you are. It asks this question. Authorization means what level of access do you have? Simple. Okay. So authentication. Okay, guys, when you go to your office, okay, when each of you employee, let's say Shubham goes to his office. Shubham, do you show anything to your reception desk first thing in the morning? Your identity card, maybe, right? So let's say there is
Yes.
a security guard sitting here at the reception area. You show him your identity card. Can you tell me why do you do so?
For identifying the particular user or particular person who is in our
Okay.
office or external person.
Exactly. Perfect. Means to check if this Shubham who has come to my building, is he the person he's trying to say he is? He's stating he is. That's it. That is authentication. Means the company is asking you who you are. First step of Active Directory, authentication. Now I'm taking this building as an example, okay? Don't take this as an actual thing. Just analogy. Then what is authorization? So let's say this is Shubham's identity card, okay? And in this identity card, what information do we usually have in this identity card? Maybe
Employee ID, name, and organization.
name, exactly, employee ID, then your department, right?
Yes.
And maybe your phone number and other things. Perfect. Now department, let's say he is IT department. He's coming from IT department. Perfect. Now based on this, so let's say this building has three floors. Okay, this one is, these are three floors here. This is IT, this is HR, this is finance. Now, what do you think, guys, based on Shubham's ID card, to which floor he'll be given access to? What do you think? What do you think, guys? IT, HR, or finance? You can write your answers in the chat if you are not comfortable opening up your mic. IT. Perfect. And why is that? Because he has department as IT. Means that is his role. His role is a network engineer. So he is coming from IT department. And Shubham, tell me, would you be able to access HR or finance floor with this ID card?
No.
No, right? Yes. Why? Because you don't have the role, the exact role, and that is all about authorization, right? What level of access do you have? Third A basically talks about checking your access, keep checking who signed in, when did he sign in, all that. That is your whole Active Directory. Now, that is the concept of Active Directory. Now, in Azure, we don't have ADDS, we don't need to maintain any server for this. We have given a service directly, which we call as, do you know what do we call that service, Vivek and Shubham? We call it Entra ID. This is the identity and access management solution given by Microsoft Azure. You don't have to maintain a server, you don't have to install any ADDS role, nothing. This is a single stop solution that has been provided to you, Entra ID. And same I can show you on the portal as well. You see this? This is your Azure portal. And here, if I enter Entra ID, see that. That's my Entra ID. This is your tenant. Now here, in Entra ID, we don't follow the procedure of forest, tree. We don't follow hierarchical structure. We don't have OUs, organizational units and all that. We follow a flat namespace structure. See, you can manage your users, groups, devices, licenses, everything from here. Let's go back to the presentation. See that? It follows a flat namespace structure. Rather than a hierarchical namespace structure. That is our Entra ID, a complete identity access management solution. So Entra ID, formerly known as Azure Active Directory. So it was called AAD before, Azure Active Directory. Now it has been renamed to Entra ID. To remove the confusion between ADDS, the on-prem AD, and this AAD. They have just renamed it to Entra ID. Okay, so it is a cloud-based identity and access management solution. It extends the concept of directory services to the cloud, offering secure authentication and authorization for users and applications across both cloud and on-premise environments. Entra ID supports modern features like multi-factor authentication, single sign-on, and passwordless sign-in, enabling organizations to manage identities in a cloud-first world. So imagine a company that is Contoso. This Contoso company has 100 employees. Okay. So the IT admin can use Entra ID to create user accounts for each employee. Each user will have a username and a password to sign into their computer, their company computer, and Entra ID will control who can access shared folders, applications, and printers. So let's say there is a user called as Bob. Now when Bob logs in, Azure Entra ID verifies his credentials. What credentials? His username and password against its database, means against Entra ID's database, and grants him access to allowed resources based on his role. So what is Entra ID? Entra ID is essentially the modern cloud evolution of Active Directory only, which is designed primarily for managing identities and providing access control in cloud and hybrid environments. So it allows organizations to authenticate users for cloud services like M365, enable single sign-on across multiple applications, or use advanced security features such as conditional access policies and risk-based authentication. It was renamed from AAD to Microsoft Entra ID in July 2023 for consistency with Microsoft's cloud product branding. Okay, that is your Entra ID. If you want to learn more about and what is Entra ID, so I'll share a document with you. Just give me a moment. So I've shared a document link in the chat. You can go through this. It will help you understand what is Entra ID. And could you please confirm if this link is working fine for everyone?
Yes, working.
Okay, perfect. Great. So that's where you can gain more information on Entra ID. Okay. Now let's go back. So that is all about Entra ID, what is Active Directory, all the things, right? Now let's understand the first module that we are going to discuss in this exam. See, what is the learning path? Secure identities and access, the first learning path, where we'll be seeing how to manage security controls for identity and access. How do we manage Microsoft Entra application access? How do we implement and manage enforcement of cloud governance policies? So see, guys, we are going to not only see theoretical explanation, but I'm also going to show you practicals as well. I'll also move to Microsoft Azure portal whenever I see the need. Okay, whenever I see that I need to demonstrate this particular thing, I'll go to my Azure portal and I'll show you that as well. Okay, but not in all the cases, but yes, where I see that yes, there is a need for implementation here. So there. Okay, perfect. Now see, what are the learning objectives that we are going to see by completing this learning path? We'll be able to effectively manage identities using Microsoft Entra ID to ensure secure access and identity governance. Now, what are the different type of identities we can have? I told you, identities can be users or groups. These can be devices or it can be applications. Now, if I ask you what type of users are there, see, there are three type of users. First are cloud members, means the identities which were only created in Microsoft Azure Entra. Secondly, there are guest or external identities. Now, can you guys tell me what is a guest or an external identity?
It means vendor.
Okay, vendor, supplier, anyone, right? So here we send invitations. Perfect.
Yes.
And
It means
third is we have
clientless.
I'm sorry,
Clientless.
I didn't get your point.
It
What are
means
you trying to
like
say?
a it means like a vendor. Not our
Huh,
company,
vendor.
external person. Yes.
Yes, absolutely. Vendor, supplier, anyone means who is having credentials hosted in their own organization. Simple, right? Yes, perfect. That's your guest identity or external identity. And third one we have is hybrid identity. Now, what is this hybrid identity? Hybrid identity is something like, some organizations say that we have our on-premise data center where we are keeping our, Active Directory, ADDS role. Plus, we also want to move to Azure as well, right? Means we are already working on premise, but we also want to keep our identities on Azure. So what is that? An identity that is present on premise as well and present on Azure as well. Means on Entra ID as well. That is something called as hybrid identity, right? So that we are going to see. We'll see how to manage authentication processes effectively using Microsoft Entra ID to secure user access and verify identities. how do we verify identities, what are the options available, and we'll implement and manage authorization settings using Microsoft Entra ID to control access rights and permissions securely. We'll be seeing how to manage and secure application access effectively using Microsoft Entra ID to ensure proper authorization and user authentication. Now, whenever we talk about these two terms, authentication and authorization, now always remember, for authentication and authorization, the protocols that we use on Azure are, for this we use something called as Open ID Connect, OIDC, Open ID Connect. And for authorization, we make use of a protocol which is OAuth 2.0. This is the protocol. Always remember, when someone asks you what are the protocols that we use on Active Directory for authentication and authorization, so these are OpenID Connect and OAuth 2.0. You can learn more about it. Just search on Google, what is OpenID Connect and what is OAuth 2.0, and you will gain more information on that. So now that we know everything about what is Active Directory, how did we come to Active Directory domain services, and what is Entra ID, now let's see how do we manage security controls for identity and access. Okay, so there is something called as MCSB. MCSB security controls, Microsoft Security Benchmark. Now what is this MCSB in detail? Let's understand this. So what do you think it could possibly be, MCSB, from the name itself? See, MCSB here, it talks about the security benchmarks that have been defined by Microsoft itself. Okay, to understand it in more detail, as you can see, it is written here. See, it talks about identity security, access control, privileged access and life cycle and reviews. So this MCSB is a comprehensive set of best practices and controls for securing cloud environments, extending beyond just Azure to multi-cloud settings, means even AWS or GCPs, aligning with frameworks like CIS, NIST and PCI DSS, and focusing on security domains like identity, data protection, threat detection, and zero trust principles to guide organizations in achieving strong, consistent cloud security. It serves as an evolution from the Azure Security Benchmark ASB with broader applicability and automated monitoring in tools like Microsoft Defender for Cloud. Now see, let me write some features of this MCSB. First thing, it is multi-cloud focused. Means it provides guidance for not only Azure, but also for AWS and soon GCP as well, helping unify security posture across different providers. It has comprehensive domains. It covers 12 key areas, including network security, identity management, data protection, threat detection, incident response, and governance. Talking about framework alignment, it aligns with industry standards like CIS controls, NIST, and Microsoft's own guidance, such as Cloud Adoption Framework, Well Architected Framework, and Zero Trust. Okay, security controls and baselines, it offers general security controls and services baselines as well. Okay, it's deeply integrated with Microsoft Defender for Cloud for automated monitoring, compliance checks and remediation, right? So that is your MCSB. If you want to know about it in detail, let's share this new window. Here, just search for See that? The Microsoft Cloud Security Benchmark provides enhanced Azure focused guidance with expanded security domains and comprehensive technical implementation details. Right? And what is it about? See, it includes artificial intelligence security, comprehensive Azure policy mappings, risk and threat based guidance, all that. These are all the security domains. Network security, it focuses on identity management, privileged access, data protection, asset management, logging and threat detection, incident response, endpoint security, posture and vulnerability management, all these key areas. See that? So if you want to learn more about these, see, these are all the mappings. These are all the industry standards and frameworks I was talking about. If you want to learn about these frameworks, there are hyperlinks, so you can go through these links as well. So I'll share this with you. You can go through this document. That's your Microsoft security benchmark. Now let's go back to our presentation. See that. In terms of identity security, it helps us to centralize authentication, protect systems, manage app identities, and authenticate servers securely. In terms of access control, we will know how to restrict resource access with conditional policies and enforce secure authentication method. Now, what is conditional policy here? Conditional policy basically means giving access based on a certain condition. What can be this condition? Let's say I have an organization named as Contoso. Under Contoso, I want everyone, every user to log in from India location only. So that's a condition. If the user is connecting from India, then only he can access, let's say, my application. Right? That's a conditional access. So certainly there are multiple conditional access policies that we can set up. Then talking about privileged access. Now, do you guys know what is privileged access? Or what is just-in-time access? Okay. See, privileged access. How do I tell you this? So by default, there are administrators, right, in our organization. Let's say you want to create administrators, but you don't want to make them permanent. You want some administrators who can manage your infra, but for a certain period of time. Let's say for only 4 hours, for only today. How can you do that? Using privileged access, means privileged identity management. So this is a feature, premium feature of Entra ID. So Entra ID has multiple licenses. It has a free license, it has a P1 license, and it has a P2 license. I'll share the document for that as well so that you can go through it. If you write Entra ID plans and pricing, you'll be able to see this. I'm sharing this document with you. You can go through this document. It will help you understand what are the licenses available for Entra ID. Okay. So there are, different features available in each of licenses, of course. See, we can limit admin roles, we can avoid standing access, and applies least privilege access principles. We'll talk about it. What is this? Then we can always review our life cycle as well. We can manage identity life cycle, review access, ensure emergency access, and secure privileged operations. Just give me a second, guys. Just give me a moment. Just a second. All right, apologies for that, guys. So let's go back. Okay. So that's what Microsoft Cloud Security Benchmark talks about. Okay, it tells you how we can manage our Azure infra, how do we make sure that our Azure infrastructure is always secure. So MCSB outlines controls and recommendations to guide organizations in aligning with industry standards. The benchmark covers domains like network security, identity management, privileged access, data protection, logging, threat detection, and more, all of which are critical to the AZ-500 curriculum. Okay, so there's a AZ-500 course and exam emphasize practical skills in Azure security, many of which are mapped to the MCSB controls only. Right, now let's move forward. Now, what is Entra ID? Although I've already talked about it, what is Entra ID? See, Microsoft Entra ID enables access to both external and internal resources, offering role-based benefits for IT admins and app developers. It offers three licenses, free and paid, means free, P1 and P2, enhancing security, access management, and supports hybrid user access with advanced administrative features. It supports a wide range of features, including application management, authentication, B2B or B2C interactions, conditional access, and identity protection. Right? So, if you want to see this portal in working exact, I'll show you that as well. Let's talk a little about Entra ID first. Okay, just a moment. So hope my Azure portal is visible to all of you. You guys are able to see my Azure portal screen. Perfect. Now see, this is your Entra ID. Now here in Entra ID, we don't follow the concept of forest or tree. We follow a concept of tenant. A tenant is in Azure in Azure Entra ID represents a single organization. Now this is the tenant that was created by default. Whenever you create an Azure subscription, this tenant is by default created there, which is called as default directory. Okay, and this is my primary domain. This is the tenant ID. See, I'm using a free license, Microsoft Entra ID free license here. You can see that. Now you can manage your users, groups, external identities, everything from this single pane of glass, which is the Entra ID. So you don't need to manage any server for this. You don't need to install any ADDS role, anything. If you go to users, you will be able to see all the users that are here. See that? Now let's say, what are these? These are identities only. So if you want to create a new user, let's say, let's create a new user. What's the name you want to give to this user? Let's say we give it Shubham. Okay. Display name, we'll also keep it as Shubham only. You can either automatically generate a password for this user, or you can select the password by yourself. Let's create it as admin at 9390. Next, what properties does this user have? Means his last name, first name, what is its job title. So let's say he's a network engineer. What is the company name? Which department he's from? He's from IT department. What is his address, his phone number, all these things. And what is the usage location? Where this user is, accessing our resources. Let's say it's India. Next, assignments. Do you want to add this user into any group? So you can add him into a group. Let's say there is a group of IT. I want him to get added into IT NextGen group. Done. Do you want to assign any role to him? Is he a global reader, a global admin, application developer, anything? So if I write here reader, see, is he an attribute log reader, global reader, directory reader, global security reader, teams reader, anything? Let's say I want to make him global reader. Next. You can assign multiple roles as well. Then next, hit review and create. Simple. And that is how you can create a user in Microsoft Entra ID. See, this Shubham is visible here. Now you guys, can you guys tell me, I'll ask you a very simple question. Why this user type is shown as member here? Anyone?
Because of here, we provided all services access.
Because, see, this user was created where? In Entra ID? Means that cloud itself. Was he migrated from any on-premise system? No, right? That is the
Yes,
reason. Remember, I told you there are multiple types of users. There are cloud members, guest users, and there are hybrid users. So this is not coming from any on-premise directory. It is directly being created in the Entra ID itself. That is why it is a member, right? Let's say you want to invite a user, invite an external user, means a guest maybe. All right. So for invitation, you need to enter the email ID of the user. Let's say it is, okay, this is the email ID. What is the name that you want to, display? Shubham guest. Do you want to send an invitation message to this user? Let's say I want to send him, hello, I am inviting you to join my organization. Simple. Hit next. Do you want to add any properties to this user? Anything? Again, the same kind of properties. Next, again, do you want to add him into a group or do you want to add a role assignment? Then hit next and hit invite. Now you will see the difference here. See that user? Shubham guest. Now this user type is guest. Now do you understand, Shubham? Why is it appearing as a guest now?
Yes, yes. If it is created in infra ID, it means it's a member. And if it
Yes.
is invited from any external, like uh, external vendor or someone, so
Hmm.
it's like a guest, right?
Yes. Perfect. Perfect. That's
Okay.
why. Absolutely correct. Yes. That is the reason it is shown as a guest user now. Means he's an external identity. Right? So that's what type of users we have. We have members, guests, and we have hybrid users. See, again it is asking, is it coming from any on-premise system? See here it is no. Why? Because it is a guest. It's not coming from any on-premise ID. That's it. Sending, it was created using an invitation, by sending an invitation. So that's very basics, very fundamentals of Entra ID. What is a user? Similarly, you can create groups as well. If I go back, this is my Entra ID. This is my name of tenant, my organization name, which is default directory. I can create a new tenant as well. If I go to manage tenants, see, I can create a new tenant from here. Currently, I have this tenant default directly. So let's go back. From here, you can create groups as well. That's very basics. Right now, let's move back. So that is your Entra ID. What is Entra ID? It is a complete identity access management solution where you can create users, groups, you can manage devices, licenses, app registrations, everything with a single pane of glass. Right? That is how your Entra ID was looking like. Now, what are users? See, Entra ID supports creating internal members, internal guests, external members, and external guests, each with specific access levels. And when I say access levels, means what this user can do, what resources can he access and what not. That's his access level. Authentication method. how do you want this user to be authenticated? Do you want the user to be authenticated from your Entra ID or from its on-prem where it's coming from, maybe, if it's an hybrid identity? Okay, so internal users manage passwords within the tenant, means within Entra ID, while external users rely on their home tenant or self setup. The best example is B2B, Entra ID B2B. As I said, vendors. So vendors will have their own Entra ID. We don't have to manage their users and passwords on them. We just have to manage access. What level of access to give to these external identities? That's it. External member access is authenticated via federation, and password management is handled by their home tenants admins. Now, what is this federation services here? Now, there are multiple types, multiple options to authenticate an user. There is pass-through authentication, there is password hash authentication. Something called as federation is there. Now, you guys must have seen when you try to, log into any application. Let's say you are trying to log into Netflix. Okay, you are trying to log into Netflix. You must have seen that there are certain options. You can use your Gmail ID, you can use your Facebook ID, you can use your Apple ID, Apple account, or anything else, right? Your Microsoft account, other things. What are these other options? These are third party options, and these are there because of federation. So that's the third option how you can authenticate. Means, let's say if you have any application hosted in your Entra ID, or sorry, in your Azure environment, and you want to authenticate the user using any of these third-party providers, you have the option of federation services. With the help of federation services, users can use any of these third-party options to log into your application. That's federation services there. What are types of users? Again, I've already told you. Here are internal members. These users are most likely full-time employees in your organization. Internal guests are there. These users have an account in your tenant but have guest level privileges. It's possible they were created within your tenant prior to availability of B2B collaboration. There are external members. These users authenticate using an external account but have member access to your tenant. Those are external, those are members but external members. See, these type of users are common in multi-tenant organization. What is multi-tenant? I remember I told you a single tenant represents a single organization. Means contoso.com is a single tenant, fabricum.com is another tenant. These will be represented as different tenants, not a single tenant. This is tenant 1, this is tenant 2. So it might be possible, right? Some companies have child organizations as well. Let's say there is an organization Contoso. It has a child organization fabricum.com. So don't you think employees here, means users here, should also have access to Fabricum as well? So what is that? Multi-tenant organization, multi-tenant scenario. There you can have external members. What are external guests? Again, B2B collaborators, vendors, suppliers. These users are true guests of your tenant who authenticate using external method, who have guest level privileges to your resources. These are the types of users we have in Entra ID. How to create a user? I've already told you. And in order to create this user, remember I took that example of that building where Shubham was trying to enter this building. The security guard was asking for his ID card. So that ID card had a role which is department, which said network engineer, means he's from IT department. So in order to create these user, delete users, manage users in this Azure Entra ID portal, you should be either an user administrator or a global administrator. These are the roles that you should have. If I have to show you this, see here, let's say there are some users. So if I go to roles and administrators here, these are all the valid roles. If you want, like, I just created a user, I created groups, I can delete a user. Why am I able to do that? Why is this person able to do that? There's Jagmeet Singh 9390. Why is he able to do that? Because he is having a role of global administrator. See here, if I search for user administrator, see that role, the second one, user administrator can manage all aspects of users and groups, including resetting passwords for limited admins. See that it's a built-in role. So that's a built-in role. You can always create custom roles as well. Let's say I go to this user administrator. I want to create an assignment. I want to make that Shubham. See, this is the Shubham user, Shubham at this domain. I want to make him a user administrator. See that? It's done. Now he is a user administrator, means if I log into this portal using Shubham's ID, he'll be able to create and delete users. Okay, that's how it's done. And let's say if you delete any user, let's say if I delete this Shubham guest user, so do you think we'll be able to recover this user again? Absolutely. If you go to this deleted users on the left, means on the navigation pane, so this is the navigation pane area. If here you go to deleted users, you'll be able to see Shubham guest here, and he'll stay in this deleted user section for next 30 days. See that? Shubham guest is there. Creation time is this, deletion time is this. If you don't recover, if you don't restore this user within the next 30 days, it will automatically get deleted. Permanent deletion. See, permanent deletion is after 5th February 10:05 p.m. Then you won't be able to restore this user. As of now, yes. Just click on this, hit restore users, boom, you're good to go. See that? That is how we restore users. Now let's head back. See, so you either need to have a role of user administrator or a global administrator to create, delete, or manage users in your Entra ID. Then talking about groups. So in Entra ID, you have two types of groups. One are security groups. Second one is M365 groups. These are used to manage access. These are used for collaboration. Two types of groups are there: security groups or M365 group. Security groups is when you need to manage access to resources. You are creating groups such as IT admin group, such as network engineers group, something like that, database engineers group, application administrators, whom you want to give some access, means these groups can give access on your behalf. M365 groups are used for collaboration. Let's say you create team channels, you create SharePoint sites, something like that. You create shared mailboxes. Let's say you are working in contoso.com. This is your your organization. Now Contoso is having an agreement with fabricum.com. They are collaborating with fabricum.com to build an application maybe. Now you need to give certain access, right? You need to create shared mailboxes because you want to get updates and all that for the stakeholders. So that shared mailbox that you'll create, that will be created using a shared group, an M365 group. Okay. See, and Microsoft Entra ID manages access with groups for applications, data, and tasks. Groups cater to both internal and external resources, means these groups can have internal users, external users, guests, anything, with various management options. Access management includes direct, group, and rule-based methods plus dynamic memberships. Now there are two types of methods you can create a group. Two types are there. First is what do you call as assigned membership. So what is assigned membership? Let's say there is a person who joined contoso.com, okay, as an IT professional. Means we will add him into IT group. Simple. This will do it manually. Now what do you think if there are 10 people who are going to join your organization, 10 new people are hired? Do you think this option will be feasible? Putting each of these people into individually into this group? Don't you think the time is involved? Time consumed will be more. You have to manually put all of these 10 people into a group called as IT, right? Perfect. So what are the options that we have? The option that we have is dynamic assignment. This is assigned membership. We have dynamic membership. Now again, dynamic membership is a part of Entra ID P1 or P2 license. With that only, with premium license, you can have this option enabled, dynamic membership. So what is dynamic membership? I create a rule. So remember I told you whenever we create a user, it has some attributes like first name, last name, department. I create a rule that no matter how many people join my organization, Contoso, new hiring is there. If their department is equals to IT, they should automatically be added to a group called as IT. Don't you think this makes the jobs easy for you of adding all these people to your group? Right? So what is that? That is dynamic membership. And if I go back to again my different window here, if I go to groups, see all these groups are there. If I click on new group, see there are two options, security or M365. What kind of group do you want to create? I'm creating a security group. What is the name of the group? Let's say IT NextGen. Perfect. One. Now this option is not for me to change. Why? Because I'm using an Entra ID free license. If I had an Entra ID P1 or a P2 license, then I would have been able to change this. So currently it is assigned, means I have to select members manually. You can create owners for this group. Who will be the owner of this group? Who will be able to manage this group? Let's say I'll create Shubham as an owner of this group. Then you can select members for this group. What are the members you want to have in this group? Let's say Alex is a member. Select, hit create. See, a group has been created. If I go to my total groups, all groups here, IT NextGen 1, go to this group. See, one member is there, one user, and one owner should be there as well. See, one owner is there. If you want to see the group owners, just click on this. You will be able to see the owner, which is Shubham, which is a user. He's a member. He's a cloud member. That's how we create a group. We can assign licenses to group. What licenses? See, whenever we talk about Active Directory licenses, now we have one license, per license per user. That's how it works in Azure. So means if I take you to this website, so this is the link that I've shared earlier, which is Entra ID plans and pricing. I think Nivedita has joined after that, so I'll just share this once again with you guys. This is the link in the chat. So if I go to Entra ID plans and pricing, you'll be able to see three different licenses here. Entra P1, P2, and this is a different one, Entra Suite. Now, as you can see here, per user per month means if you have 10 users in your organization, 10 employees, you will be needing 10 licenses of each. And it is your job to assign those 10 licenses to your users. Okay, that is how it works. And these are all the features. What do you get in P1? What do you get in P2? What are the things that you don't get in any of these? You get in, this suite, Entra suite. So all these things are there. So you can go through this link. It will help you to understand better. So for now, let's have this. Now, until now, any questions from my side? Anything you guys have from me to ask from me? Any questions or anything? Anyone having any questions in mind until now?
Hello.
Hmm.
Yeah, as of now, no question, but I have one question. It's a different. So, how can we move from network security engineer to cloud security engineer in Azure? So, can you please tell me in a short?
Okay, how can we move from network engineer?
Network to cloud.
Okay.
Yeah.
First thing is you are having the perfect course in hand, which is this Azure Security Engineer AZ-500. So you have enrolled for the perfect course. As I said earlier, moving from a network engineer to a cloud engineer is one of the most natural transitions in IT. Your existing knowledge of the OSI model, of the IP addressing, routing, subnet, which is the DNA of the cloud, right? It's the DNA.
Yes.
However, the shift requires moving from physical hardware to software defined abstractions, right? So, are you working on on premises as of now with on premise setup?
Prisma cloud setup. It's a cloud-based setup. Followed.
Then that's perfect. That's already perfect because you're already having cloud knowledge. So
Yes.
you won't face any problems. That is the reason you are enrolled for this course. It can help you in terms of virtual networks, subnets. You learn about how to set up Azure firewall, network security groups, what are Azure load balancers, application gateways, VPN gateway, express route, user defined route, all these. Okay, you will be gaining all this, what is identities as the new parameter, what are the different layers that you need to secure in Azure. So absolutely, transitioning from a network engineer, your best path will be, you will be avoiding the beginner trap and you will go straight to high value credentials, right? As we are focusing on AZ-500, which focuses on the security side of networking, front door, DDoS protection and all that. Talking about the salary and the job outlook, so based on current 2026 market data, transitioning can significantly increase your earning potential as well. Okay. So first step is you go through this course. Okay, you are already aware about all the Azure fundamentals as you have told me. And second thing you have done, good is that you have enrolled for this course, which will help you a lot in understanding the overall security posture. No, you will not be stuck only with the networking part. Okay, for that you have a different course which is AZ-700 network engineer. But if you're talking about transitioning from network to security engineer, then absolutely this is the perfect thing for you. AZ-500. Hope it helps.
Yeah, got it. Yes.
Perfect. Any other questions from anyone else? Because I think it's 10:18 as of now. So for the first day, we will keep it until here only. Nivedita, you joined late, I guess. Do you have anything that you might want to ask from me? What is this course about or anything?
No, no. I'm fine.
Okay, okay, perfect. And talking about the feedback, guys. So how did you like this first session? Did you get to learn something here on the scale of 0 to 5? Keeping 4 as normal and 5 as beyond exceptional. How did you like this session? Was it interactive? You can write your feedback in the chat if you want, or you can just open up your mic and.
Yes, yes. Guys, you can give the feedback for the day one class, Vivek or Shubham, so that will improve more by tomorrow, day one session, right?
Yeah, you can use the chat window as well if you want to write anything
Yeah,
like it was good.
it's a more interactive sessions, and you also shows us little bit hands-on on the first day, how it's going, and
Mhm.
you make aware about this Azure, and yeah, you ma- you would you would also you have to show more
Uh,
practical for tomorrow, for the more information.
See, absolutely, absolutely. As we move forward, see, this was the very first day of the class, right? So I have to keep this course, very interesting and very engaging to all of our
Yes,
learners
yes.
here.
I mean like RBAC and all. That's
I'm sorry.
RBAC role based access.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Whatever is covered in these presentations, I'll try to show you in the Azure portal. The things I have access to. So I had
Mm.
access to Enter ID, so I showed you how to create users, groups, RBACs, all that.
Okay, it's perfect. Thanks.
Perfect, perfect.
Okay, thank you guys. Thank you, Sanmi sir, for today's session. It was really
Yeah,
very informative. And let's connect for tomorrow, same time, 9 p.m. for the day one class, right?
sure,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Thank you, guys.
Nivedita,
Thank you, sir.
so
Yes.
Nivedita has sent me a query that I would like to start my career in this. Perfect, Nivedita. What I'll do is I'll just quickly share this AZ-500 course, introduction to you as I've shared to all of the people here who is this course for and everything. You can go through this link. It will help you to understand, what is this course about and everything about it. So go through this and let me know. We'll join tomorrow as well. So I've shared the link in the chat again. Nivedita, please make a bookmark of this link. And yeah, we'll connect on the same time tomorrow as well.
Yeah. Thank you,
Okay,
sir.
guys?
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Good night.
Okay. Perfect. Thanks for joining, everyone. Have a nice day.
Thanks. Bye.